I'm incredibly proud to be joined with the voice of Bella Dimitrescu, Becca Prewitt.
You know, I'm like, that naturally comes out of me, you know, but I don't actually do it in public. But sometimes behind closed doors, I'm like, ugh. It's that, you know, Irish, Scottish part of me, you know, that comes out. It gets a little fiery.
Yes.
But I control it, you know, with humanity. I just in private, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Don't we all?
Right?
So next question is, if you could write or reprise your role in an upcoming DLC or even a spin-off film TV show, learning a bit more about House Dimitrescu, would you want to give your input and would you act in it?
Yes. And yes, absolutely. I would love to give input if they wanted it, but I had to say that Capcom are kind of brilliant. I mean, they crafted both.
From my all-time favourite sci-fi TV show, Star Trek Voyager, Queen Mirror in Gears 5, Star Wars and many more. Super excited to introduce Caroline Seymour to the show.
Who was your support then when you were a kid?
Mainly my mum. My mum was the route of support.
And she knew that you were gay?
Yeah, she knows, yeah.
When did you tell her, or did she always know?
She was like, oh, I've always known.
Good, yeah, good.
She was very supportive.
I still don't. I mean, I've never understood why people care.
Yeah.
It's just.
I know. It's like you shouldn't really need to come out, but you know, it's society.
You know, it's called human being. It's called human being.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Valorant, Effing the Crew Mat talks all about Astra.
I was extremely positive, and people used to always say, you know, I don't really drink and all that because my energy is quite high, and people always like, how are you happy and you're not drinking, and sort of, how do you always have this energy? And it was just this internal joy because I was doing what I felt I was called to do.
Yeah.
And I think what that did was blind me to sort of the reality that, one, not everyone will like you. Two, not everyone will want to like you. There are people who will work really hard not to like you.
Yeah.
3, you have to understand that everyone has a different view or experience of life, and that's what informs them and their decisions and their behavior.
My inspiration is Timothy Chalamet. Love Timothy Chalamet. I think he's a very, very good actor. Yeah, and Carrie Fisher as well. Carrie Fisher was amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many I could name. The list could go.
It's hard to pick one.
Exactly, it is, yeah. So next question is, in your opinion, how can someone maintain their mental well-being in this industry? I ask this question a lot, but everyone's got a different take on this question. So that's why I always include it, because it's always a different answer.
Yeah, and I think it's a difficult thing to get a grasp of. I think that's why we have so many issues in this industry around depression, around addiction. And not to say that those aren't issues elsewhere, because they obviously are things that people, myself included, struggle with. I think in this industry, there's just a highlight on it, because there's a highlight on everything. Once you become known enough, kind of everything changes. And that's been a big experience for me with Resident Evil, is it's no longer just my family and friends watching what I do.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. I need a weapon. And I need you to join me on the Mentally Obsessed podcast at 5 p.m. GMT, the 30th of November, on all the usual podcast platforms. And together, we will finish the fight.